Chad and Queens Leans on the camera, and we are live. I don't know why, but we are. We're probably running a little late. That's what's going on. Right at the present moment, I am customizing the 34 Cabriolet, what I want to do to it. I look at this car, I see a custom, not a hot rod. And what I mean by custom is, like, I'm thinking fender skirts, a little lower in the back end than the front end. I'm not sure if I like the louvers in the hood. I'd like a hood that had no louvers in it, is what I'm thinking. I also would like to change the headlights. There's a few cars that I have looked at on the computer and they look pretty decent as a custom. And I think this is a good one for it because I would stay with the patina of it and just keep on cruising. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and finish up welding the fender skirt. I have one fender skirt here laying on the floor, but I want to make them both the same, but I want to get this one welded up. And then we'll go for it, we'll grind it off, and we'll make it look like something. Thanks for coming back, everybody. I really appreciate it. A man with no goals is on a road to nowhere. Hope that resonates with somebody, and set yourself a goal. I'm about 4 to 5 hours in on these on these fender skirts. And right now I'm just welding them up. I'm going to show you how I'm welding them up so you know. And I'm going to try to weld it up as fast as possible. I welded this up the other way, and I'm turning it up so the heat's coming up. So basically this is what I'm going to do. Show you exactly what I'm doing. Kind of one step at a time, like always. I am doing more in fours in some places, and the reason being is I feel I can weld it up without warping it. I do not want to warp these fender skirts. I really want to have a nice job on them. I don't even want to fill them, to be honest with you, if I can get them nice enough. But we'll see what happens. So how much did the round rod cost? $15? Yeah. $17? Round rod was $15, $17. I had two pieces 10 feet long. I got two fender skirts out of it for $15 plus a piece of metal on this one and that one. So you're looking at, these fender skirts would probably run me $100 for material. Can't do much for $100, I don't think, on a car, but to build two fender skirts, we're doing good. I'm thinking about, if I had to buy them, look them up online, see how much they cost. I bet you they cost more than $100. Let's face it, you got to make them. But that's the fun part, making them. We want to get them both the same if we can. Messed up the boulder there a little bit. We'll get her. Woo! So easy. One down my boot. So what I'll do is I'll get it welded up. I'll grind it off with a hard disc. The best I can. And then we'll sand it with maybe a sanding wheel. Just smooth it up the best we can. And then we'll get a DA and we'll use an 80 grit and sand them and see what they look like. I think they're going to look fantastic myself. And if you watched me make the one yesterday, I didn't use nothing other than a roller, and I rolled this piece of metal, and that's all I've done. Rolled that piece of metal. I did not English wheel it. I did not put it through a pull max. I did not do anything. I just rolled it, stuck it to the framework that I made, and went for it. Back this in. That's what I do, just a little bit. Keep cruising along. Try to go every 6 inches and throw down some weld. Keep it cool with the air because I do not want to warp anything. If you warp a fender skirt, you might as well make a new one. You may as well make a new one. Watch this. Did you know you got your nice Uggs on? Yes, she does. She got to do what she got to do, though. Huh? Air on that. I like the round rod around the edge because I can grind it off nice. And it looks nice when I'm done. It always feels good when it looks good. The air to it. I know it's a little bit loud, but you can't do anything in a body shop without making noise. I don't think. I guess you can. Put on putty or something. Not ready for that yet. We want each spot laying over top of the other spot, and that way there, when we grind it off, we got one complete weld is what we're looking for. And you really have to make sure when you're welding something like this up that you're getting, what can I say, you're getting it all welded, because when you grind it off, you'll have no edges. If you're not getting it all the way over in the round rod and you grind it off, you'll see an edge, basically. One spot, let it cool. This probably can be some of the funnest welding that you can do with something like this. Welding on a apprentice skirt, just sitting there like that. We're getting close. But this will show you how long it's taken me to weld them up. As I say, I've got 4 or 5 hours in them. And right back here, do it all over again. It's not the sheet metal that's holding the heat, it's the round rod that's holding the heat. You can see the shadow of the weld, and by the shadow you can tell how hot things are getting, or hotter. The bigger the shadow, the hotter it's getting. And by the looks things to me, we got a good shadow going on. We're not real hot because it's not a big one. It's a small shadow. You can get a lot hotter than that. Hotter than that. Trying to make it as fast as I can to get going here. This is a beautiful job for someone to learn how to weld. It's got a nice piece of metal, nice piece of round rod, a nice edge. Yeah, this is my first time. One. Join could do an awesome job on this, probably better job than I would by welding it. But when it's all said and done, and I grind it off, that weld will look good as anybody else's. If you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not, when I grind it off, it's going to look good. And the reason being is I've got it on an edge. I can roll it all off. Any questions going on? Would there be questions? Thought anything sitting up on that? Nope, it's okay. 2, 4 more, 5 more spots. And we'll grind this bad boy off and make it look like something.
What wire are you using?
What's that?
Somebody asked what wire.
I'm using 023. 023, and the reason being is it's not as fat as the 3.0. 023 is kind of a smaller wire. We're doing sheet metal, so I don't need a big wire. Using 18 gauge metal, 18 gauge. If you're doing something like this, have that air right beside you. Have it right beside you so you can get it cooled off in a hurry. The faster you get it cooled off, the better it'll be. Just close my eyes on that. If it's not warped up, we will be successful. If it's warped up, I won't be happy. When you warp something, you might as well say you've smashed it because you have to fix it. What I mean by fix it is grind it all off, bang it with a hammer, generally put a bunch of fill in it. It causes a mess. So if you do not warp things, it makes things a lot better. Less time, less fill, better job, and much happier. I can always tell where I welded. I'll show you. When I weld this, and then I lift my helmet up to put the air on it, and if I miss it, it goes hot. You can see where it's dusty, foggy. You can see the dust, and I blow it off, and that's where I weld it. So if you're welding and you pull up your helmet, you can't find your spot where you're at because the heat has gone down, you can't tell. Let's look where it's foggy. If you're using the air, because I put the air on it, blew it off. I'll do it again. So, if no one showed me where I've welded that, I can tell because you can see the dust. Mm-hmm. And then I put the air right on that. Now, gorgeous you are, Jolene, gorgeous. All right, that looks good. Let's do this. Let's turn that welder off if you don't mind. Sweet pie. All right. I don't use my tools that good, but let's face it. That stuff like that and them grinders and stuff like that, they're not big money, especially when you get friends that send in some. And I use them. Thank you very much. There you go. Let's do this. I'll get got a nice looking panel there. I think that, to me, that looks fantastic. You couldn't ask any better, would you? I'm not sure. You might, but I'm going to grind this off. What I'm going to do is, I've got this, I'm not going to grind it like this. I'm going to grind it like this on the top face of it, take that off, and then I'll go to that side. I'll leave all the weld on the corner, and then we'll round it off after. So what I'm going to do is do the face of it, and then I'll do I don't want that on, that'll take off on me. I've done that before. Let's do this. I like using the bigger grinder. I don't really necessarily need a hard disc for this, but it's working. Generally, I would go to a sanding wheel, generally, but the hard disc is really working. I'm just taking off the top of the welds to the edge of the metal. That's basically it. I seen Joe Sousa's van on there, the blue one on there today. Look good, Joe. Look real good. The old boots take the brunt, don't they? I mean, that was that a good joke or a bad one? It's a good one. Just want to get the face. We're live, right? Doesn't feel any different any other day. No. Alrighty, let's get the edge going off here. I'm really going to scrub on this one. You can see all the weld I got there, so I just scrubbed the face of it off, try to keep it as flat as possible. Now I'm going to scrub this edge off on a giver. And I'm going to stay on the round rod and try to keep as much weld as possible. Might be a pinhole, I'm not sure, but try to flatten that out. I don't want to do that. Nope. Huh? Nope. This guy. lot of people like the smaller tools, and the smaller tools are much easier to handle, but they're a lot slower. Like, let's face it, if you did that with a little small little 3M roll-on disc, you'd be quite a while, and you wear a few of them out. Yeah, you would. But I like the grinder, obviously. I use it every day. Keep showing the teeth. Do this. Trying to leave all the weld on the edge, or most of it. I'm bearing on her. Giving away. Now you can see all the weld that I got left on the edge. You see it all? Like, you can actually see there's still the full weld on the right on that edge. Now I'm going to take it and make it smooth, make it look good, make it feel good. Let's do this. And then we'll start the other one. Alrighty. Now, I'm just gonna, I can get that later, I guess. Let's take it over. Now this is the other one. I think I got that one exactly the same as this one. Yep, let's look at this now. Hey, not bad, not bad. I'll go with it. I'm a little long there. I can knock that off a little bit. That's square stock. I can knock that off a little bit, but I don't think it's necessary, to be honest with you. And like I'm going to say is, you would never notice that on each side, but they both look good. Got same. Looks like some kind of fish, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sanding wheel. That hard disc really knocked the scratches in that sheet metal, so I'm going to take a little sanding wheel. I'm not sure what grit it is, 120. And it's the one I have, so that's the one I'm going to use. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. You might as well come right with me then, if you want to stay on. Yeah, so I'd like to put a set of Chev headlights on this car. I've got them right here. I've got one anyways. or I've got two, but I haven't got the lenses. This one here is what I like. You know, and I'll tell you why I like it. It's longer, it's smaller around, it's different than the original, and also when you open the hood up on this sucker, the headlight's right close on this bad boy. Like, it's right close. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll pull the headlight off. If you can see back here, it's got a little round ball there that goes in that pocket for the light. This bolt goes down through, there's a little pocket there. So what's going to happen is I'll have to take, and I'm not sure, take this off, and I'll have to, I got a couple of them right there actually. A couple of these things right here. I'm not sure if these ones will work, but I have to put a set of those on there, weld them on or do whatever. Everything okay, Samara?
Yeah, I got a headache.
Oh. So anyways, I'll probably put that on there, and then I can take this off, and then it'll fit that. I've got headlights, or I got paint that I can paint them. So the fender skirts, I'm feeling like I could do, a good job on those also, or I'm going to do a good job on those. They do not have to be perfect, because that's not where we're going with it. Because the car is not perfect, and neither am I. I know you thought I was, but I'm not. All I'm going to do is take a few scratches out of the fender skirt where I sanded it with the hard disc, and then we'll hit it with a DA. We'll hit it with a DA and see what we can't make it look like. Just that. Can't do anything about that. It's too deep. Trying to get it the bigger scratches. A bad man with a grinder. Now, the fender skirts. I've got a shape going this way. I've got a shape, going this way, and I've got a shape going this way because this is sort of flatter up here and this is round here, so it's kind of a different shape. And I got a shape going here. I don't have that straight. I made it come down like a little bit, like just come down a little bit in the center, and then come back up, and that way there it's not scalloped out. They both look good. Let's get a DA. Let's get a DA. That thing there would make it look nice, wouldn't it? Which one should I do? This one? Or the DA? What do you think? Yeah, it don't matter. You can do either or. Let's do one with this one, and we'll do another one with the other one, with the DA. How's that? See what they both look like. What do you think, Fina? You like the fender skirts, huh? Like the fender skirts? Also, with the Ford here, if you watch the video, me and Jolene got the car unstuck, the engine that is, and then I came along with the vinegar, opened the vinegar up, and I put it in one of these squirt bottles, and I took all the plugs, or the plugs were out, and I squirted vinegar in each cylinder. And the reason I did that is because I'm thinking that the diesel fuel, or the diesel, went down past the pistons. I'm thinking it only blew out like one or two, did it not? So I'm thinking that it went down past, went in the oil. And what? Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe the rings, could use a little bit of unsticking maybe, or whatever. And I'm thinking that the vinegar would be the best. And that's what I'm thinking. Let's get this one. It would work a lot better, but you can see that the pad, we're pretty near wore out, but we're going for it. Hey, Eastwood, how you doing? I don't like that there when it stops like that. Kind of gives it a poopy look. Let's get a DA and an 80 grit. We'll DA it off and see what that goes for. I use basically on the DA a 40 grit, an 80 grit, and probably a 220 would be the only sandpaper that I buy. 40, 80, 220. So remember that? It's 40, 80 prime. 40, 80 prime. This is an electric DA, and I like using electric DA because the power don't quit. If you know what I mean, like on a air compressor DA, when the air compressor goes in, sometimes it loses its power. These bad boys don't lose their power. It's a porta cable, probably $300-400 Canadian or more. Piece of metal stuck in there. And all you're really doing there is getting it ready for primer. Like, I mean, I'm making it look better, but basically all you're doing is getting it ready for primer. So the primer would here. You'd never want to spray the primer on just like that. Your primer would fall off because it wouldn't be that sticky. You're looking at me, loving her eyes. you got a good fender skirt when I'm sanding on like this. It's not going boing. All right, good fender skirt. It's a beautiful fender skirt. Now, what's your choice of metal finish? Do you like the DA with the 80 grit, or do you like the Eastwood sander, stripper, or whatever that's called? I kind of like that one. Kind of looks, but that's basically it. Now, 2 fender skirts, $100. I'll say 5 hours. 5 hours. Same. You might have to cut that one off just a little bit. Just a little bit. Cool. 2 fender skirts for 34 Ford that I'm starting to customize. Stick with us because there's going to be some other stuff that we're going to get done there. I'm thinking we might get something painted on the door. I'm not sure when he's coming, probably this week maybe. And I got a couple vehicles I want to put some paint on or something. You'll get to see it as we do it. The fender skirt fits over top of the body line of the fender, like this part here, goes over top of that. And that's the only reason I made it that way is because that's the way I've seen the rest of them. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make the gear to hold this bad boy on there. And I'm very pleased with, how I got it fitting. Very pleased. And what I can do, hammer it around a little bit if I want to over on that stump of wood. And all I do is put the stump of wood on the ramrod, and then I can bang the ramrod so it doesn't dent what's going on. Solid all the way around, both, all welded all the way around. If you can weld up a fender skirt and have it like that, I would hire you. It doesn't always go like that, but there's 2 fender skirts for the 34 Ford. I have to figure out how to apply them. Yes, I do. And I did them as quick as I could. Let's face it, I don't want to be all day doing them. They're just 2 fender skirts. I'm not sure what 2 fender skirts for a 34 Ford would cost. Not sure, but I'm sure it'd be more than $100. I'm going to get down and do 50 because I do it every day because it makes me feel better. And that's basically why I do it. You can stay and watch me do 50. Not sure how many that was. Huh? I'm not sure. All right, thanks a lot for coming back, everybody. Really appreciate it. Tonight was live. Really no different than the other night. And the reason being is that's what we do. We generally don't slice and dice. And we are not on air. We're live. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor. Have a great day. Come back tomorrow.